You are listening to Charting Cryptos, Commodities, and Currencies. Let's jump into Bitcoin. This 24-hour-a-day Bitcoin chart. What do we see going on? Well, we reached the high all the way back on the week beginning March the 11th of 73,794. Since then, we have not reached that high since then. The next week, we had a green spinning top. Last week, we had an up candle. This week, we have another green spinning top. The high last week was 71,754. This week, 71,296 so far. Another spinning top. Now, we can see that we're negative. We've got a red volume. What does that mean? That doesn't mean down volume. That means that we started the week off lower than the prior week ended. So again, we see some weakness here. We see a spinning top. We can see this latest two-day candle pushing through the two-day trend line, down right now 5.61%. So Bitcoin struggling to get back up to that prior high of 73,794. Not too far off, but again, struggling over the last few weeks. I'm hoping that we'll get a red candle here. We'll get a reset. We'll be able to find another jumping in point for another big up move, that it won't just pop up, trend sideways for a while, and then keep moving up again without giving us a good potential for a jumping in point. So we'll see. We'll wait, watch, and follow the charts. What about Ethereum? Now, Ethereum popped up to a high the week beginning March the 11th of $4,095.40. It is down right now 6.80%. The next week, really weak, with a strong red, a red candle with a lot of down movement on it, on that bottom wick, a little bit of up movement. Next week, another spinning top. This week, a red spinning top. Last week, it was a green spinning top. So again, Ethereum struggling to do anything but go down. So again, we'll continue to watch, but Ethereum's, again, bled off a lot of energy, appears to be struggling to move up at all. Now, we look at the Bitwise 10 Crypto Index Fund. I explain this every week. It's top 10 cryptocurrencies weighted as per market share, Bitcoin being the big dog there, followed then down the line quite a bit by Ethereum. We see it has blown off a lot of energy. It too topped, as one would expect, the week beginning March the 11th. Since then, spinning tops. This week, decidedly red. We can see it's already pushed through the two-day trend line. On the two-day chart, the weekly trend line quite strongly. And again, down day for BITW, 3.82%. So cryptocurrencies struggling to get back to where they were. Now, overall, everything the day I record this is down except for gold. Now, let's move on to commodities. We can see gold here as gold has just bounded up. Now, what's curious, check out what silver has been doing. Silver went up that week, March the 11th. It gained a crazy amount, went even higher the next week, beginning March 18, and then bled off tons of energy. Had red volume there, meant that it started the week off lower than the prior week's close and didn't do much of anything. Gave us a real, shock that, wow, silver, has it already bled off all of its energy? It's going to get ready to crash? No. This week, jamming up. Today alone, silver up 4.29%. Just hammering up. Don't give up on silver. It's already up to average volume. And again, it's only Tuesday as I record this for you. Close the market on Tuesday. So silver just hammering up. Quite beautiful. What do we see going on in the energy sector? Well, we see gasoline continuing to move up again. It's been a bit herky-jerky as we've gone along. Had a big week back on the week beginning March the 18th. 71.79 was the high. And this week, even higher, 72.33. Like I said, up today alone, 1.95%. Oh, I skipped by copper, another metal at the beginning. Of course, copper hit its high back on the week beginning 18th of March. Last week, almost a doji there. This week, trying to get some energy, but again, not getting near that high yet. And let's go back to fuel. And what do we see here? Well, energy. We see the oil fund, and again, it's just continuing to crank up. Once we saw that spinning top back on the week beginning the 29th of January, then a doji, then things started to move. Didn't have volume backing that up, didn't even have average volume, but it has just continued to add to it as it goes up, 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 as volume goes down, down, down. Very interesting. That is where we are on the commodities for this week. Let's switch from commodities now and go to currencies. I've added one for you here. We'll look at the Swiss franc at the end. But what do we see going on with the British pound? Of course, it hit its high back on the week beginning March the 4th, then started losing energy. Red spinning top starting the week March the 18th with lots of volume. And of course, we had higher than average volume when it hit its prior interim high. Again, telling us things probably going to roll over and go down when we saw the volume in that March spinning top, and it has. And again, British pound in a downward direction. Look at the euro, very similar as far as direction goes. Don't have the qualification of the volume there to help with it. But you do see so often as you track this, we've got one outlier here, but everything else is just red, green, red, green, red, green. I mean, doesn't that make it easy to follow a chart? If it's red, green, red, green, red, green, don't have the same thing with the British pound as we do with the euro. What do we see with the Japanese yen? Again, another red, green, red, green. What did we see? We saw the yen try to take off back on March the 4th, went up for 2 weeks, March the 11th, and then after that, we see the yen going down. I added in for you the Swiss franc. It slid sideways after a lot of downward move, and then the 2 weeks beginning the 4th of March and the 11th of March, a sideways slide, and then, of course, resumed its drop with high volume that first week, super high volume of the 18th of March, high volume last week, and it looks like this week also going into high volume as the Swiss franc crashes down. That is it for charting cryptos, commodities, and currencies. I always love covering the globe for you when it comes to these just different ETFs that people don't look at necessarily a whole lot. There's always something going on. We love to hear from you. CW@chartingwealth.com. God bless my friends. All the best from the whole team at Charting Wealth World Headquarters.